Check, check, check. You hear me? You hear you?
I can hear. Absolutely. The complexity of honesty.
Welcome to another episode of Dear Love and Lust. I am your host, Jumaine Maine Event Brown, alongside my other host, Bklyn, Shay, Shavina, Richardson.
Hello, Jumaine. It's nice to be back.
Yes, it is nice to be back.
It is.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling free, given the fact that So You Got Talent is over, but still finalizing everything coming in. So feeling very lightweight mentally because that piece is over.
You put in work. It was a good show. I was glad to be a participant as a judge.
Thank you so much for being there. Your input and expertise was greatly appreciated because you wasn't just a judge, you were a guest judge because you are Maine Event Live.
Yeah, I got a funny story. So we was in the mall Saturday for Show's birthday. I met Show up at the mall, right?
Okay.
We were sitting there over by like the Cinnabon area, right?
Right.
I was about to go on to Jimmy Jazz or whatever. We saw the young lady that usually works my door.
Okay.
So we were chatting with her. Then randomly, and I can't even remember his name. I know he used to rap or whatever. But he has a camera on his chest.
DJ Constantine. Oh,
that might be it.
Okay, yes. Constantine.
He rolls up. Oh my gosh, we got a living legend in the building. And he just starts recording. And I'm sitting there like,
Constantine Cali. Not DJ, because he does not DJ. Constantine Cali, that's who it is. Shout out to him. Because I'm like, I had to get it right.
Bro, what are you, TMZ, bro? like you're, I'm just saying what up. He just starts interviewing me and then Show. I was sitting there like, this is funny.
He was in LA for quite some time and has a good following and stuff. So it's a good look. Yeah,
it was hilarious to me because I'm like, all right, I'm cool. I get it. Yeah, all right. But I'm like, I'm no legend.
That's what's up. No, listen, sometimes you got to get those flowers now. Not too many of us get that opportunity. It's like people ain't hating on you one way or another. So they ain't giving you nothing.
It was hilarious. Like, yes, I was a guest judge. And so forth. Yeah. But it was hilarious for him to literally just run down the interview on me in the street on some real TMZ stuff. And I'm like, I'm not that famous.
Whatever. You got to speak life into these things. I mean, your ultimate goal is to what then? Like if you're not...
My ultimate goal is to impact people. I don't have to be famous to do that.
Come on. Okay, we here for that.
So that's all.
I'm definitely here for that process, okay? Completely.
And, this is episode 33, The Complexity of Honesty. We're going to touch on a few little things. We got a few questions here. Dip into some Shay's topics, and I have a topic about the rules changing in this dating game.
All right. But
what?
Because it's been a minute. So Maine and I, we be like just jumping in and just start talking because we don't get a chance to do this too often. We trying to get back into the flow of things since he had his amazing summer of being booked and busy and stuff like that, okay?
And somebody else was booked and busy traveling and seeing the whole world.
Yeah, in some aspects. Yeah. So long story short, right? So we are not experts whatsoever.
Not at all. We're just two people who
clearly have been some shit. Okay, so we are here to pretty much just entertain you guys. We ask people, don't be taking things so seriously. Life should not be taken seriously.
Right.
I mean, none of us are promised tomorrow. If you made it through COVID, then damn it, you got something to live for. Okay, would you say? All
True.
right. So that's what we're here for. So we have got a lot of stuff going on, and Maine popping off with the tree on a good note. What we got?
So, again, Dear Love and Lust shares perspectives from both men and women. Excuse me. Regarding different topics, love, sex, and relationships. And various topics will be discussed. We only have one actual question from a guest this week, but we need to get y'all back on track. We took a little break. Obviously, this is now season 2 that you guys are paying attention to. Mm-hmm. So when you see this video and you get inspired, please email us at dearloveandlust@gmail.com, or if you see our Facebook page, you can inbox us there. If you want to be anonymous, we got you. Don't worry about that. Absolutely. If you don't care, we don't care. You like either. It, we love it.
Right. Especially when we live. So when we live.
We will be going live soon.
Yes.
We just got to figure that out.
Yep. See whether or not if we're doing that via YouTube or Facebook. It's going to be one or the other. We'll let you know. Okay?
So let's jump right into it.
Right on
What's the first question we got?
All right. So the first question goes like this. When a man sees a woman that he is sexually attracted to, and that is his sole purpose for interacting with her, okay, let me reread because that's a little worded weird. Okay, but sole purpose interacting with her is the opportunity to have sex with that particular woman. Should he communicate that upfront indirectly? So basically, if a man sees a woman, he's solely just attracted to her on her looks, period, all right, and his sole purpose is to interact with her to have sex. Should he state that? Absolutely.
So, how would you respond to that?
Let me tell you how I have responded, because it has happened on more than one occasion. All right.
Okay.
One, I entertained because I actually had a fantasy about having sex with him, and so when he was direct about it, yep, shout out to him. Very, very long time ago, but it was at the peak of me coming off of my divorce, right? So I was intrigued and ready to just kind of just test clearly other waters, right? So I did, and I had no regrets whatsoever behind it.
Nice.
But it was just that, sex, So it's like, if you're upfront, you know what you want, that person know what they want, you know what you're getting. There's no expectations, there's no pressure behind it. It's like, all right, I'm not checking for you, you're not checking for me on that level, and I'm not worried about who you with and what you're doing. So it was so seamless and beautiful, because this is just what we're here for, okay? And because they normally say like women are like emotional beasts, and like we get that normally we're vested and we are all this type of stuff. I wasn't invested in shit back then. Okay? I was vested in the point of my husband hurt me, my ex-husband, and I was just out for the kill at that moment in time. Right. So I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna have whoever I want. I'm gonna do whatever I want, and I don't really care. Okay, on that type of level. So, and then the other flip side, when I wasn't told that that's all the person wanted, and then they was pursuing, and then out here doing the most, because that's what I like to call that. It's like as if you took that choice away from me, and you didn't give me the option in the process, and I wasn't included. So in that aspect, especially if I asked you out the gate, are you seeing somebody else? Is this, type of, are we courting each other? What we doing? What are we doing? If I got to ask you what we are doing, and clearly we're doing the bullshit, okay? Because I shouldn't have to ask. It should be clear and concise. Period. Come on, man. Hey. Yes, okay?
We know what we're doing.
Yes, we do. So what you think?
Based on what you just said, and I'm proud of myself because I didn't interrupt you, even though I had thoughts. So based on what you just said, so the situation that went down, that was basically the deal was up front, you had the choice and the option to choose whether or not you wanted to engage or not.
Correct.
And the other person went try to do the backdoor sneaky route, cause a conflict of interest.
Hello.
So, in my opinion, when I hear questions or see stuff like that, what usually happens, at least for me, if I present that type of information to a woman, although they respect it, occasionally they're offended. Now, maybe it's because maybe they didn't want to do it. Like how you was like, yeah, I'm gung ho. I was already thinking about it. Let's go.
Right.
But then there are some that were, but because I communicate that, now it's just, in my opinion, I feel women have been instructed to behave and act a certain way with their bodies and sexualities, and when a man approaches them in a sexual way, they have to put up that chastity defense and so forth.
I think
you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying, and I received everything that you said, and I also did not interrupt. I waited until you finished.
Yes,
so I'm trying.
We growing.
We growing. Yes, we are. This is season 2. So, what I would say behind that, most of the time, the women, and come on, I'm gonna need y'all to chime in when y'all do see this video. Most of the time, when women are like taken back and like, oh, how dare you? I'm appalled. Those be the most freakiest motherfuckers behind the scene.
See, I'm glad you said that, because I didn't want to say anything.
They down for
I didn't want to
it,
say anything.
but they just feel like, damn, did he read my soul? Did he get into my spirit about shit? Now I'm offended.
Again, we are not experts.
No, we're not. Okay, we're
just two that been through some
shit. But I'm trying to tell you, those be the motherfuckers. And you're like, oh, so you really trying to play like you Miss Goody Two Shoes or this type of vibe. Like, we're adults. Adults speak their mind. Especially when you grown like we are. Like, come on.
I spoke on this before on the show. It's
yes,
like,
you have.
Remember back in the days when we would go to the clubs and so forth.
Yeah.
And the woman that's in the middle of the dance floor dancing with all the guys, doing whatever, getting picked up, whatever, is being talked about by the women that are just like, oh, that's just not classy. That's not this, not that. Right. Meanwhile, the dancing queen is going home by herself and being a virgin, and the ones that's doing whatever are leaving with the dudes he done was watching the dancing queen dance with. And now it's like,
yeah, you cannot be judging somebody, exactly.
What are you doing?
Nah. And I'm gonna play both sides of the field, because then you do have the ones that are reserved and want someone to lead up to that. Maybe not come directly out in the beginning, you know? So it's like, you know, just like men, just in general. We all have our moments where either you really feeling that person or you not. You sexually attracted to the person. That person just does it for you. It's going to be one or the other, you know? So when you do come up front like that, like what we was talking about, like preferences of what we deserve and, you know, what you're looking for in a woman and stuff like that, like at some point, because you're just ready to cut, you cutting through the bullshit. Like, I just want to know, okay?
Exactly.
Like, just cut through the bullshit. Let's get to the point. What is it that you want from me? What are your intentions, okay? And when someone states their intentions straight up, then you can move accordingly. And that to me is respectful, not disrespectful.
So one of the things that I try to have a conscious mind about with certain situations is sometimes you don't want to say the direct thing because the response can sometimes trigger a defense reaction. Right. Even if they're down, but they don't want to act like they're down, like what you're just saying. And now it's almost like now it's an either or. Like, if we're not going to do it, then we can't even be cool.
On the woman's part?
Yeah. Once you cross that threshold of
stating what you want. Okay.
Stating what you want. There's an assumption that the gentleman that's stating what they want, if you tell them no, they're no longer going to entertain or give you attention or any kind of cool vibe.
Well,
you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
It's
what
like
you're saying.
I holler at you, right?
Yeah, you tell me what you want, and now all of a sudden you want to avoid me like the fucking plague, like as if I'm a piece of shit because I came at you that way. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're thinking, but you're doing that because you're thinking, well, if I do give him something, then we do it, that's it. It's over. There's no more interaction. So
right, and that's far from in between, because I'm telling you, old boy and I were banging at it. Okay, like and it wasn't until I said, for me, like, damn, I do want more. Not with the person, but just in general, I want more. And in order for me to get more, I got to stop blocking my blessing. So that was me, a personal choice that I said I was no longer going to engage with the person like that more, right?
But you communicated it, and it wasn't necessarily something he did. It was just something that you wanted.
It was
you
a personal choice.
You didn't necessarily want it from him.
Yep.
If it was from him, it would have been cool, but at the same time...
But it wasn't, because it's like, I knew what I was walking into. You know what I'm saying? So again, making an adult choice at the time from the space of mentality of where I was at. Okay. And it's like, I think like we all go through these stages, right? Stages of development. We all are evolving consistently. And when
daily learning.
Yeah, daily learning. So it's like when you get to a point where you say, yeah, I'm not going to keep doing this, because how is that going to usher in what I really deserve, And unfortunately, it still took me a couple of goddamn fargets to figure the shit out, but that was my lesson, and that was something that I needed to experience in order for me to grow into the person I am today, and knowing what I want. I'm not going to entertain, nor will I continue to stay in something that I'm not happy in, so it's extremely important for us as adults, and that question brings that up where, damn, okay, is it okay to do that? Like, why are we even still having these questions where it's just like, you need to be your true authentic self, and if somebody can't accept that piece of you, even on the minute part of saying like your friend, that's your friend, or that's somebody you vibe with, fuck that. Okay, if shorty felt like a certain kind of way about it, then I guess that's not somebody that I need to continue to exchange energy with. Right. Because you clearly are on another level where now if you looking at me like I'm a piece of shit because I was direct and asked you a question, then that makes me question the content of your character and who you are as a person. Period. Moving on. So you know how the universe works, right? So it's interesting that today I came across a meme. And it's a very deep meme. Let's get it. That I think, even though its intention was humorous, it probably will strike a nerve. Okay. So it says, "You're sexually attracted to me, not interested in me. There's a difference." There is a difference. I was like, yo, that's deep. It is deep. What was your takeaway from that? No, it could be an accurate statement for certain situations. Right. Like, and I get into discussions, especially with women that I may try to date or see what's up with. Right. And I try to tell them, I'm like, yeah, being attractive is cool, like, but I know a lot of attractive women. I'm a photographer. I'm DJ. I do events. I see, people all the time. All the time. Yep. That doesn't impress me. Yeah. In the same fashion as a great conversation or some kind of how you carry and behave and so forth. That draws more interest. I feel like I really got like a Will Smith cadence tonight. It's probably because I'm tired. You hear my I hear it, but that's all right. I'm like, why am I talking like this? It's I heard it, but I'm like, let him go. Cause we both tired as old God knows. That's what it is. It's like that slow draw right now. Yeah, but it's all right. We here for it. There's a lot of women that think just because I think you're sexy or attractive, no, I don't want to holler at you. Yeah. But, you are fine. People, you could get it, but that about it. That's about it. Right. But it's those moments in time where you say, like, people always thinking, like, when we was on a ride in and we was talking about how people was assuming that, shout out to Tammy Cobb. Okay. Oh yeah. But assuming that Tammy and I had a relationship and we were we undercover and all this type of bullshit. And I was like, I told Tammy, just in general, we had an event, so we was talking and shit. Maine happened to be the DJ for that. So I'm like, I said, Tammy is a beautiful woman. point blank, period, in her own right, and doing what she do in her world. Okay. I said, but for me, if I was to be gay, if I was going to go there, I already told y'all from the jump. I said, Santana. That would be the woman. I like exotic stuff. Okay, now I ain't gonna say shit because or whatever. So if I was to go there, that would be like the women I would be attracted to because I'm a femme. In that way, you know what I'm saying? So I would be on that type of vibe. I wouldn't be looking for no stud or nothing like that. So it's like
you be your own version of Carisha and Meg.
Right. So but I'm saying like, and it was nothing, towards T or whatever like that. But I'm like, people always assuming stuff because we spend much time together. Okay, so we must be king. Okay, and I said, you know what? It's so interesting is that.
Yeah, it used to only be a male-female thing, but these
days it has to be you with the woman or whatever like that. But it brings up the best thing around because it's like people always going to talk. So even in this situation when we're talking about you presenting information or just men in general presenting information to women and vice versa, partners to partners or whomever, you still have to say to yourself this: I'm an adult. And if I want to say these words to you because that's something that's on my mind, I'm not going to hold that back because as we learn, and I know people want to believe that COVID did not happen or a pandemic did not happen, and it's still clearly people are getting COVID still, but we survived something so traumatic. I'm not trying to live no days. Like
we will be in somebody's textbook.
Hello. Exactly. So it's like, why are we living with opportunities that would present themselves and we're not acting on them? Like, you need to say something.
Live your life.
Yeah, live your life. That's it. And it's like,
so here's a question on top of that question, right? Is there a specific way to communicate that?
I would say honestly, if you're that vested in the person, right, in terms of wanting to be with them in that way, I would absolutely ask that person out on a date. Like, I would take them out on a date. I would say, hey, not for nothing, there's something about you I'm digging. Okay, cool. And present it in that manner. Like, I'm not trying to say, okay, as soon as we finish dinner here, because it seemed cliche, right? That, I want to just have sex with you or whatever. I'm just letting you know that I am really physically attracted to you. And I would like to take it to that next level. And I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not asking you to say no answer right now. I'm not asking you to dive deep in that, let's go bang it out. But I just want you to know that that is where... I see myself in regards to wanting to interact with you. Now, you just gave that person the choice.
A choice.
Period. So it's up to them now because you put it on them. Whether you're going to receive that or not. Okay? So either she going to feel some kind of way or she going to be like, wow, that's deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of took me back. Or she's going to be like, I respect that. To me, a grown person, not just woman, a person would receive that and be like, wow, nobody never gives me a choice. Or nobody ever presents that in that manner. Though it may be shocking.
I do get that in response sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's only fair.
Right. It's only fair. So it's like you did not take that choice away from somebody. And I think that too many people in general, especially those that have approached me, I'm like, the fuck did you bump your head on stupid? Somewhere along the line you must have left it there.
Wait, but
no.
On the flip side, right? So if it's a woman stating that to a man, I think a lot of us don't believe it sometimes, like because we're not used to it,
and not
especially the older ones. The younger generation, I don't know, y'all free for all at this point.
They be thinking that somebody just trying to play with them. I promise you, before anything serious that I'm currently in, I had, like I said before, I had a younger person, and that younger person, by the drop of a dime, I'll be like, okay, what you doing? You're not doing anything? Okay, cool. I'm not doing anything anyway. And cool. Are you available? Yep, you're available. Sound like a plan to me. Call me a Kruger, whatever you want to call it. What's the words for it? That's what it is, right?
Yeah, cool.
All right, cool. And I absolutely was. So what? And I enjoyed every bit of it. That was the point of how it was for me. I never looked at it in that aspect until, the ladies on the vibration checked me on it. It was like, that's what you were, Shay. That's what you were. And I was like, well, I really didn't think like the age dynamic. Like I was really, the kid said, not kid, sorry, I'll take that back. Oh my God. The person said that they
you
was
out here telling on yourself. You out here telling. How old were they, Shay?
Listen here, okay.
20 what?
No. He was not in his 20s. He was definitely in his 30s. But anyway, so I ain't feel no kind of way about it because clearly you grown. You grown. Okay?
Right.
You grown enough to know what you want. And honestly, he was growner than half of the adults that I would say. He is an adult, clearly. But he was way mature for his age, knew what he wanted. And I appreciated that because he knew what he wanted or whatever. So there was nothing wrong with that particular part. And what I'm saying is that he came correct. And when he came correct, I was like, okay, cool. I know what this is. See what I'm saying? So it's like, what it is when you're able to dive into situations with people where it's a mutual understanding. I really appreciate having intercourse with you.
Yeah.
Period.
I'm sure.
I did.
I'm sure they did.
I appreciated it, and if he was on this thing, he'll tell you he appreciated it too. And if he could continue to have it, I'm sure he would.
Was this after any poetry shows or anything?
No, it wasn't. It was never.
I'm joking,
No. Honestly, I answered that directly because most of the time after the poetry shows were like in my earlier days, like when with Bless and Mojave and all that stuff like that. Like I was really
that was a different
Brooklyn Shay. Yeah, she was different.
That was trouble.
She was totally different. Like, oh,
that was Players Club Brooklyn Shay.
That's a whole fact, Bert. That's a whole fact.
Yeah.
Oh, our sponsor, One Hope Wine. Let's get into it. You want some more? Did you like that?
You could pour me some more.
No, you could pour it yourself. Pour your own troubles. Yeah, I told you they changed everything. They switched it up on us.
They rebranding.
Yeah. Okay, so this is something, the wine, if you ever want some whatsoever, we'll talk about it later, but One Hope Wine, Brooklyn Shay sells this. Sorry, my bad. It's been a minute. Let me get the camera right. There we go.
There you go.
Okay, cool. I have all types of flavors, Chardonnay, red wine, that things. Okay, Moscato. Sparkling if you like, but anyway, and we have merch too. So.
Yes, Dear Love and Lust on the MaineEventLive.com website. You can get a sweatshirt.
Yep, some glasses,
and you can definitely get the glasses from Brooklyn Shay.
Absolutely,
she got a whole box.
Sure do. Okay, so feel free.
So
yes,
we're moving on. We're gonna go to the next question.
You next.
Could you ever see yourself in a committed relationship, building a future with someone who you share similar religious backgrounds with, but they don't celebrate holidays? Your facial expression.
Yes, because I'm the person that don't celebrate certain holidays. I'm not for the pagan holiday of Valentine's.
Really?
Really? I like the concept of love, right? And what love means, but I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I do not. I'm maybe one of the far few and in between women that do not. But it's something that you can celebrate love and me any other time. So
well, I mean, Valentine's Day is a commercial holiday.
It really is, but it's the history behind.
I think this question is more about like Christmas, Thanksgiving.
We get into that. We get into it. It's levels to the shit.
Got
you understand what I'm saying? So it's like,
listening.
I'm starting with that one first because when you think about holidays, people consider Valentine's Day a fucking holiday. Okay?
Yeah,
they really do. Yeah, right. Listen, people, just in general, just to be politically correct, okay?
Right.
They really about that whole thing. Now, who doesn't want to receive some special stuff or whatever like that if that's what you choose to do? But you should be doing that 360 days. I think 65 of them. You should be doing that all the time. Like for your person, whoever is for you, right? The rest of the holidays, Christmas would be a deal breaker for me because it's nostalgic, not because of buying into the holiday season and all that type of hoopla. But for me, growing up,
it means something.
It means something to me. It's extremely, like, it brings amazing memories for me, just growing up with my cousins and just the family time, living in Brooklyn on Pacific Street. Shout out to the P Street fam. But it's everything around that time where we were vested in that holiday, and my mom and them always made it very special. So the person I'm with would have to receive that. Even Thanksgiving, family holiday, time for you to sit down and enjoy. If that person is not about family, period, then I definitely ain't fucking with you, because family is everything to me. I may not get a chance to speak
So no pajama pictures.
No. I try to shy away from, like, the tradition that people.
What started that? Who?
I don't know.
Social media is a monster, because I swear it's like people see somebody do something and maybe they get a lot of likes for it, and then let's do that.
Everybody's doing that together. I'm not knocking anybody who decides to be interesting in the pajamas and matching shit and whatever you want to call it like that. That's beautiful, because if that's what you choose to do, that's what you choose to do. Now, would I be in, like, just because I love pictures, and I would think, like, I love capturing memories, right? So doing a family portrait or doing something, like, special or whatever like that is meaningful, because you don't get a chance to see that too often. And sending people cards, or just, like, during the holiday time. But to get to the question, like, yeah, if somebody that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with wasn't into certain things, that would be something, a discussion we would clearly have to have before we decide that we moving further.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it would make sense if you're person that you're really trying to be in a committed relationship with doesn't do similar things that you do. Like, I know people want to compromise and have different levels to it, but if you're a person that celebrate Christmas and they're anti-Christmas, how's that going to look in the house?
Right.
Of your committed relationship.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And your families and so forth, your interactions. Like, say the in-laws, if you do decide to be, like, engaged and the in-laws are happy and they want to exchange gifts.
Yep.
Oh, well, we don't do that.
Yeah. That's
just so awkward.
It is awkward, but it's also like somebody's shaping you and molding you into somebody that you're not, so then that automatically sets the tone for, like, manipulation and control, and you're not being your authentic self. You're not allowed to be your authentic self. Then
it's funny, because my boys, they get on me because I don't smoke weed, but I mean a lot of beautiful women that do, and some of them smoke it every day,
a lot. So
my dudes are like, you still not, you gonna let weed deter you from dealing with that? And I'm like, it's not just about the weed, it's a lifestyle choice.
Right.
And if I don't match that lifestyle, eventually there's gonna be some friction that comes along, and it's bigger than it is because of the emotional attachment that's there.
Correct.
Like, hurt people, right? But people that you love hurt you the most.
Facts.
And the reason it hurts the most is because you have love or feelings or emotions toward.
Right.
So imagine, you're in a long-term relationship and y'all been rocking, it's been compromised and working out. But then one day that person just really wants you to smoke with them.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
You see me, I'm fine, but you don't want to smoke. I'm like, it's not about that. It does nothing for me.
And I received that.
Or vice versa. I don't want you to smoke today. Like, that pressure and putting it on, and now you're creating issues. So it's like,
it's either for the betterment of someone's health, right? Because I've had the last 3 people that I was with, in the sense of entertaining seriously, smoke cigarettes or something, right? I am not a fan. It's a trigger for me from like childhood. And so I'm very upfront with it.
Mm-hmm. If
you want to be with me for the remainder of your life, that's not something that you're going to have to continue to do. Because I'm not. Now, cigarettes is an addiction. We do know this. So for you to wean yourself off of that, you have to really fucking love that person for you to say you just going to give that shit up. Okay? Yeah, that's different than weed.
I was joking with my boy. Yeah. One of my boys does smoke, and he was like, it's just weed, and I'm like, well, put it this way: if they smoke cigarettes, how would you feel?
Right.
Because he's not a cigarette, and it's funny.
Right.
There are weed people, but they don't want the cigarette thing is like disgusting and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So
it's different.
And I'm not judging anybody. You're free to do whatever you want to do. Just allow me to also that same energy.
That's the fact.
But my point in that is it's just interesting how people see and view things, perspectives. So if your perspectives aren't matching,
right, then it's off. It's going to be a disconnect. It's going to be something that is just like totally off, because when those individuals, like they clearly, I felt like they watched the podcast before, so they knew I didn't like cigarette smoke, so they already came with like, oh, I'm stopping, I'm in the process of weaning off or whatever the fuck, and I'm like, I'm just letting you know, in my mind I have a time frame. If you don't fucking stop smoking,
it's done.
And it's done. Like, because I can't continue. Like, it's just something within me that is not going to allow me to stay there, because I'm not going to be able to get over the smell of it, right? So it's like, it's not going to work. Not as you could be the most beautifulest person in the world, it is not going to work for me, because this is my truth. This is my transparency. This is like, she don't like, you can smoke weed.
So,
and I'm okay with that.
I guess for me, the decision that I'm growing to come to, like, if I'm trying to be super serious with you,
right,
we're not gonna go there. If we're just friends and we have a connection,
yeah,
and we vibing, all right, I'm not gonna. I have made the level, thanks to my boys, to not automatically shut it down because of that.
Right. But
at the same time, it's just like, am I actually going to continue to compromise?
Right. Because there's levels to the shit. It's as if you're settling.
Right.
And this is where the point where I told you, I was like, I am too grown to be continuing to settle for shit. Like, at some point, you have to say, yes, things are ordered in a manner, but I also feel that you're making a choice. This is a choice. If you can't wean yourself off, then you need to be honest enough to tell me, like, yo, I can't stop. And if you cannot stop, that's not something that I can entertain, So it's like the other people, it was just like, it was one thing. But I'm here for the person that is definitely willing to maneuver and make that change at some point in time. We know Rome wasn't built in a day, so ain't no way in my head I'm saying like, okay, great, you're going to stop smoking cold turkey right now. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to get there, and you're making the steps to go see it, and then I'm here for that. But
and there's also levels of respect. So outside of weed, so all right, say somebody is recovering from alcohol.
Right. That's real.
What sense does it make for you, who is a drinker, to deal with that person on a committed level?
Thank you. Because
you know what I mean? I'm not saying like y'all can't be cool and y'all can't vibe, but when you're like literally pursuing a certain level, and you're a person that like, well, I'm going to drink
socially, or just
even if you're not somebody that when they drink gets drunk, that's just what you do. And that person doesn't want that because they don't want to jump off the wagon or whatever you call it, so forth. Outside of even like religious belief, it's the weirdest thing sometimes for me when I find out, say a Christian person is with a Jewish person.
Yeah, it's deep. That's real love. I'm
like
trying to
actually
tell you.
Married.
Yeah. Real love.
You know what I mean? Or
Yep.
a Jewish person with a Muslim person, or
Whomever.
a Jehovah's Witness with a Catholic or something, like whatever different belief systems that you may have. You know what I mean? It used to be so interracial relationships. There used to be so much, oh, you shouldn't be doing this and shouldn't be doing that.
Please, then get over it.
And, you know, some people would say, oh, you're not being open-minded, but there's culture that comes with it, with who you are as a person. I'm not against, you know, everybody's free to choose what they do.
Right.
But with every choice, there are consequences.
There. So,
you're a black person, your holidays might be more focused on Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? And those principles. Although you can share and educate that person, it doesn't have the same response. They don't have the same connection to it. Just like you won't have the same connection.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something.
To hold on. So you know how there's the running joke about potato salad with raisins in it?
Oh my God, Jesus!
It's a cultural difference.
It is a cultural difference. Yes, it is.
So, you know, it's all relative.
It is all relative, but when you find that person, when you find your one.
The one,
regardless
undeniable,
of cultural,
the one,
ethnicity, regardless of whatever. When I tell you, I saw a TED Talk with a gentleman who was definitely straight, Caucasian, whichever. He met his wonderful woman. She was European, but in a sense of just experiencing a different way of life for him with his children, and being able to say, like, she was mixed and she had Hispanic heritage. He was like, it was everything for him to make sure that he enmeshed himself in that culture of the side that she resonated with the most. Okay, this is what I'm saying. There was a willingness, but that's also when you're in love with somebody and you're willing to, because you're thinking about your children. You stepping outside the box, like, because at some point you're gonna have to come to terms with that's a side of them that their mom, in this case, was going to make sure that they were vested in, because that's the side that
being
she
a
was.
White mom with black children learning how to manage and do their hair.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. And I've experienced that where one of my friends, she actually called on us to assist her with how to care for her daughter's hair. And I said, this is so big of you. You understand what I'm saying? Because most people be like, oh, nope, just going to send her to the beauty salon and let them figure it out. No, she was like, I want to be able to do my own child's hair because that's my level of bonding with my child, you know? So it's like when you get to that point where you're saying, like, crossing all ethnicities, all cultural barriers and stuff like that, and you're willing to step in and stop being selfish but selfless in an act of love, that's huge, you know.
Again, there's levels.
There's levels to it.
There are definitely levels to that aspect.
But you never know, because trust me, I find the universe very funny at times, where it's like, woo boy, you gonna keep giving me what I don't want just to see whether or not if I'm gonna continue to entertain it. Okay, I got you.
At the end of the day, most people, well, at least for me, I speak for me. I tend to just follow my gut.
Right, and that is
my gut is usually right each moment that I literally just listen to it. You
ain't never lie. Same here.
So your gut, your heart, your mind, if they all are in sync, then maybe you're onto something.
When something is off, it's off.
Exactly.
Period. Okay.
I'm gonna ask the next question because this is interesting, and this was actually something that was sent in. In your opinion, who initiates open poly relationships more, men or women?
From what I have experienced with people, places, and things, it has been men on this particular level. And I was okay with the process, but I'm letting you know that for me, because again, a little bit different than most women around here, I presented that to somebody. Remember we talked about this before on season 1. I presented this to somebody who I had already heard through the grapevine was about that life, right? Mm-hmm. And this mofo was like, no, Bklyn, I want to be exclusive with you. I want to just, it's just going to be us or whatever like that. His dumb ass still cheated. Okay? Still went and did something. And I was like, now you got to just be the most stupidest mofo. That's
wild. You had an option.
And that was when I was, again, in one of my evolutions, but I hadn't fully evolved. And I was open to that process with this particular person because I had cared for the person. So I was like, you know what? I'm cool with it because as long as you're being safe, as long as you're being good or whatever like that, this is where I was at the time. So I'm like, okay, well, let me present it to you without you presenting it to me. Mm-hmm. Do you want to do this? But the mofo didn't want nobody else touching me. That was the problem. So at the end of the day, let's just call it what it is. He was okay with him clearly doing whatever he wanted to do, but he did not want nobody experiencing what he gets behind closed door or what he was getting behind closed doors. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's selfish as hell, because if you gonna eat, let me eat too, mofo, because there ain't no way you about to be out here in these streets and got people out here thinking like, yo, Shay just gullible as a fucking just letting this mofo do whatever he want to do. Are you out of your mind?
Perception.
Right. Perception is everything, because he sure enough met Bklyn, and when he met her, he was like, that's not the Bklyn Shay that I thought I knew. No, mofo, it was not, because we clearly gave you an option, and you just went against the grain. It up. Period. Okay? So,
the question was sent to my Instagram, but it was also attached to a video. And in this video, a woman is with her man being interviewed by somebody. And so they're asking, well, whose idea was it? And it was the woman. Mm-hmm. And then the point is brung out, most women actually make the genuine poly open relationships are usually initiated by women.
Now.
So, but then, somebody adds their comment, or what do you call it? Duet split screens the questions, right? And the dude chimes in to refute that and says basically the reason why this woman initiated that is because of the man. She knew she could be okay with this particular dude doing that, and he's not gonna care.
Right.
See, you're shaking your head in agreement. I was like,
no, because that's what I'm just finished saying. Like, it's like if I already knew that this is how you roll overall, meaning that you out in them streets, right? Why the hell would I want to be fully committed to you on that type of level? I'm not. I'm in my mind, I'm like, all right, well, cool. Just so you know, if you see me out with old boy over here, I don't want you to trip because I'm actively dating, and at that time I was. I'm like, I'm actively dating, and you're coming in saying you want to know me on a different type of level because we've known each other. We've been friends, okay? So you had a perception in your mind, and I keep telling people, Bklyn Shay and this other person is two different people. Totally two different people, okay? You gonna find the other person with these glasses on, with her full wig, her full throttle. On our first season back, that was Shavina. Though she was Bklyn Shay, but that was Shavina showcasing, here we are, this is what it is. But again, my versatility is what it is. As Peyton would say, shout out to Peyton Harrison of Peyton Harrison Production. She was like, my versatility is my superpower. So it's like, you don't never know who you're going to see. You'll see me out, you be like, that is not the same person that I saw over there. No, she's totally different.
So you took a little bit different angle on that. Because the dude that was commenting was implying that the dude was a weaker man.
Get out of here.
And more of a simp.
Oh my God.
Than an actual,
woman. He gave into what she wanted.
Right. A woman
please,
wouldn't be able to make that suggestion to an alpha man if he was one that was just trying to be more monogamous than not. And the implication was, because he wanted her so bad,
he went with it.
He settled. Basically.
I wouldn't think that he settled, because when we talk about, here we are on Dear Love and Lust, right? Mm-hmm. There's differences. There's levels to the shit. So you don't love somebody or you lust for them. So in a loving situation where you are two adults, that's like a married couple and people judging a married couple because they choose to be swingers and they decide to invite people in their bedroom. If that is what they choosing to do, and they are a married couple, that is their fucking business. Don't have anything to do with you. But people will shy against that and say, "Oh, that's taboo," because why would you want to share somebody you opening up? That's they open themselves up to whatever energy and stuff that comes along with it.
You just remind me of a trailer that keeps coming on. When I forgot what I was watching, and basically it's going to be a Hulu documentary about the Farwells or whatever that.
I haven't seen it yet,
so the commercial is literally like 30 seconds long, and it starts off, everybody knows this very special white evangelical holier than thou couple and so forth.
Okay.
And the dude that's talking, but what they didn't know is that the husband loved filming his wife having sex with me.
Oh.
And it's like dun dun dun.
Okay.
Scandal, right?
Right.
But it's funny because it's like there are so many things that people don't want people to know about themselves based on perception.
Listen.
But when I look at people, like you mentioned swingers,
mm-hmm.
you mentioned, just people that literally just live their lives for themselves.
They live in.
They don't have the same restrictive nature in their lifestyle,
mm-hmm.
and they don't have the same stress levels.
Right. They do
not.
not.
They always makes me burp.
But they do not. But that's also, again, going back to what we were talking about, like season 1 and now. People are gonna be people, and you're gonna do whatever you want to do, regardless. You know what I'm saying? You can't control what someone does. So right. if that person chooses to go out, step out, and cheat on a person, right? Do you control that? No. You could be in the most.
You only control yourself.
You only control yourself. So it's like, if in their relationship they have an understanding that this is what they do, why are we to judge their situation? They are in a committed marriage, a committed relationship, and that is their choice. Yeah, but what I say, people who are so damn judgmental, because you want to be out there doing it too. You cannot. So you haven't found your person that's willing to jump those ladders with you in them ropes, okay? So you want to be out here judging everybody else in their business.
Lord,
be mindful.
Can't be coming to church in that attire.
No. Oh yeah. Oh, she out here doing the most.
And then when they get home, back in my day, I used to dress just like that. I can't dress like that no more. But no, she don't need to be coming to church like that.
The most judgmental people are in the place of worship. Let's just say that out loud. Okay. Sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's accurate.
It is very much so. So it's like, there comes a time, or just like with the clickiness of just like how people perceive you. This is entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. So being in entertainment, being a poet, being a DJ, being an artist, just being in general, we are the most creative beings on this freaking planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but we also have professions. We have professional careers, and we out here doing what we doing.
Mm-hmm.
That does not stop me from being a great teacher or a great person or a great mentor or a great whatever person in the professional field, or whatever your choice is. But you do have an outlet. So if in your personal life you're choosing to be a certain kind of way, who should judge that? Nobody. Nobody but whoever you believe in, right? Should be the judgment of you. So it's like, in this aspect, like, of poly, and whether or not somebody is, committed to that particular life, and how they may be swayed to go in that direction. If I love this man, if I love this woman, I'm going to do it. Because that's my choice. Here we go with choices, right?
Right.
You're making a choice. You're deciding. Don't mean that later on that you may find that doesn't work for you. Guess what? Lesson learned. I'm not going to do that no more. Right? So
Right.
you learned your lesson and you move on. But people get so damn stuck on stuff. This is why we got psychotic people hiding in bushes and shit.
Because honestly, in my opinion, I just feel like we were just raised with a lot of, I actually posted about this, and it was partly in regards to, the people who I will not mention right now their actions that have had some serious consequences in the public eye. We all have been raised on some form of misinformation. Mm-hmm. And the problem with that is we run with that information as if it's facts.
Gotcha.
And it creates more conflicts. It creates more issues. And the only reason why we're raised with misinformation is because even they were raised with misinformation and their parents were raised with misinformation in order to manipulate and control us.
Period. Point blank.
So it's tough when you start dealing with traditional values and ideology because some of it is actually based on BS.
It really is. It really is. And it's like it's like generational curses. Like shit just trickles in and dives into your lives, and you're like, well, I was raised and I was taught that you had to be submissive. Okay, I could be submissive to the man that deserves it. You feel me?
See, that's a good segue.
Right.
Keep going though.
You exactly. We're here for it. You see what I'm saying? I be loving this new season that we be in sync. But that's it. And it's like, I can give this man and operate from my level of femininity instead of being masculine all the motherfucking time, because that person deserves that. You know what I mean? So it's like, if he's showing up for me in that manner, why can't I, be the person that is like, all right, cool.
So,
go for it.
With you saying that, we're gonna jump into the topics.
Yes.
I'm a
do number 2.
I'm gonna start with that since you did it. The rules have changed. And the reason why this is my topic is if you look at social media and social media advice givers,
those people,
particularly men. There has been a movement of such.
Okay.
We all remember Kevin Samuels,
right?
Who, in hindsight, I think got a bum rap based on selected clips, because he was very balanced with both men and women when it comes to the stuff that he said. But you didn't know that unless you actually watch this stuff, right? There's other podcasts, there's other social media personalities and so forth. And they have been literally seemingly on a mission to go at women. And in some instances, rightfully so.
Okay.
Now, why? So, you brought up the submissive thing. So, the reason I said the rules have changed is because there are a lot of women with modern values that are seeking traditional men.
Okay.
Do you see? You see with it?
I follow straight out
conflict
the
of
gate.
interest.
I follow straight out
So
the gate.
you want a man that is a provider. You want a man that takes care of you, pays your bills, and maintains the home. Is faithful to you. Is also, if you end up having a family, a great father to the children, and is there when you need him.
Right. But
and I'm even TD Jakes kind of has jumped on into this bandwagon with recent videos. But this modern woman with those traditional desires of a man can't cook or doesn't want to cook. doesn't, well, flinches at the word submission, doesn't want to have sex with her husband as much as he may want to have sex with her, doesn't do just a lot of traditional things that women used to have to do in relationships, including. No, you can speak.
I'm listening.
Including, but that's what I'm saying. The rules have started to change because the men are peeping the game, and a lot of the posts that we see, and we automatically like, oh, they just bashing women. Some of them are.
Some of them are, but they could be peeping the game all they want. But guess what? They have organized this mess for themselves. Want to know why? Because a lot of men have wanted these women, not you, have wanted these women with these made bodies, and knowing goddamn well they could not cook, they could not clean, they could not know how to take care of a household, but they wanted that arm candy on them. And them having that arm candy, there was a sacrifice. A sacrifice that you wasn't going to get fed, okay? Not in that way, okay? She may be doing the most with that mouth, but she was not feeding you in that way, okay? My upbringing is that you need to keep him empty and fed at the same goddamn time. That was my upbringing. So I definitely know how to throw down in the kitchen and do what I need to do. Clearly, Bklyn Shay is not a skinny mini, okay? Now, was I smaller before? Absolutely. However, forget about the weight thing about it, but we're going to go into the fact of the content of somebody's character. What is your upbringing? Who is that person? And what does that person bring out in you? If you do not deserve a meal, I'm not feeding you. Okay. Now, if you make me feel like a woman and I want to cater to my man, I'm going to do those things to cater to my man. But if you are a peasant, you will get peasantry. Okay. Which means.
But what you're doing.
No.
Is you have traditional substantive value.
Right.
And you're getting it. And if you're not, you're going to use your traditional manners accordingly.
Accordingly, exactly.
But the rules that have changed are mostly for the modern, independent woman that doesn't necessarily want to be independent.
The younger
wants
versions.
To be taken care of.
You're talking about the younger versions. And it's not even.
It could be younger. It could be older. They're just modern. Thinking.
Okay, so start with that.
How they look at relationships.
And they doing modern thinking. Okay, cool. So let's get to that. So if I'm a person that's thinking modern, I would like to say like I'm split between 3 generations. Okay, in terms of
dudes. Oh shit!
No.
What you doing, Shay?
Stop it. 3 generations in terms of like upbringing and what my thought process is. Right. So it's like I'm young at heart. But I have traditional values, okay? But I also have a forward thinking aspect, meaning in level of feminism, all right? And I truly believe that, women necessarily have had to, black women, have had to step into a role that we have not necessarily wanted to be in terms of being in our masculine energy. I did not anticipate being the sole provider of my family. Okay? But what happened when I got divorced and by choice chose to leave an abusive relationship, this was something I had to step into where my kids grew up having me as mom and dad. So culturally and historically, we have had to, as black women, step into something that we not necessarily wanted to do. Okay?
Accurate.
So with that being said, sometimes it's hard for us to relinquish that level of power and a level of control when we have been able and have been put into a... No, listen to me.
I'm listening.
No. When you may disagree with the point of thinking that it's not hard, but it is hard because if you've been conditioned to be in a position of, I have to pay the bills, I have to do this, I have to do that, right? And then you say to yourself, okay, now I want to operate from a place of femininity and I want to allow this person to take care of some of the bills. I want this person to take care of me. I want this person to court me. I want this person to treat me like a woman like I deserve to be. Okay. In order to allow them to do that, right?
Right.
I have to relinquish some of control. Because at the end of the day, this is all about control. Okay?
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Right.
At the end of the day, this is all about control. Who is going to be the head? Right?
So this is why I said I disagree with it being hard. Because here's what happens, right?
Go for it.
So all that you just described.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you happen to meet a gentleman
Mm-hmm.
who approaches you the right way.
Mm-hmm.
He gives you that type of energy where, although you weren't checking for him
Mm-hmm.
or looking for him, you're now paying attention because of that energy.
Mm-hmm.
You're in conversation. You mentioned something like, oh, I got to go to work. I got to get these overtime hours and do such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you get to work, whatever you needed to take care of is already taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, what happened? And then he hits you up. Did you get such and such? Yeah. You did that?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a pattern of behavior that starts to, things that you need and you're so used to taking care of yourself are now being handled without you even having to ask.
Right.
So you have a shift that occurs because you're being taken care of.
Exactly.
You're being provided for.
Exactly.
And not with any other expectations other than you to be who you are.
Right.
To that person.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes easy in that moment.
It do become easier, but what I'm saying is that it's not necessarily out the gate, man. Let's be real with it.
No.
Out the gate, it's not gonna happen that fast because for a person like
it's not a Tyler Perry movie.
No, it's not. Okay, for a person like myself who has not been in a relationship until recently, for God knows 15 plus years.
Shout out to that.
Okay, so it will take time for me to relinquish who I am and allow this person, trust the process that this person is going to show up in that way. Okay? Mm-hmm. Because now I don't have to put my fucking cape on and I don't have to run out here and be like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. Now I got to be like, damn, I got to consciously say, oh, damn. He reaching for the bill. Not only thank you, but he reaching for the bill before I fucking reach for. Okay, cool, no problem, no whatever. Oh, he's doing X, Y to the Z. All right, he's thoughtful in that way. Oh shit. Okay, cool. I ain't experienced that before. All right, cool. You making plans? Oh shit. You okay? That sounds good to me. So this starts to break down my wall because now I'm like, well, damn, somebody is
Literally.
Right. So somebody's vested in me enough to want to make change in not only my life but their lives, to say I'm gonna show up for her as nobody has showed up for her before. You know what I'm saying? So then I'm paying attention. Okay. Mm-hmm. Do I still have a wall up? Yes, I do, because that wall been there, but I'm not at the space where I was before, where I was so guarded that I did not allow somebody in on that level. So it's like, yes, the game has changed and men are being more vested, as they fucking should. Okay. Because too many times it's like, I used to say to my son, I'm like, what the hell? You doing all of this for her. What is she doing for you? You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, she just sitting back and eating? No, mofo, you ain't gonna eat off of my kid. Okay, I taught him to be domesticated, for him to do exactly, show up for a woman the way that he's supposed to. Mm-hmm. But you're not gonna take advantage of that. And then in the end, he's sitting up there broken. Are you kidding me? Absolutely freaking not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get what you're saying, and it's like I'm ecstatic for the men that are choosing to be like, yo, no, little mama, you gotta bring way more than just good looks. Period. And that's where this come from. That whole statement of things have changed and men are catching on. It's like, you gotta bring more than good looks, okay? Because your good looks are gonna wear out at some point in time. One way, shape, or form, one of your butt cheeks are gonna go down. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just like, let's be real with it. If it ain't wholeheartedly, something's going to shift. So yeah, I'm here for all of that.
That was a good one.
Absolutely. Okay.
You got any topics, Shay?
I do got a topic.
Oh Lord, let's go.
So we are at this. I don't know in our lifetime. I think it's just in our lifetime. I've never seen a Powerball to 1.9.
Oh, 1.5?
No, it's at 1.9 now.
Oh,
it's almost 2 billion. It's almost $2 billion. Okay. And this has to definitely do with dear love and lust and just life in general with people when it comes to finances.
I think I know where you're going.
Okay, come on, follow me, bro. So here we go. My thought process is if you had $2 billion, which this shit is almost at, how would you overall, one, provide for your family, your significant other? How would you choose to do that? Okay. Mm-hmm. If you was courting someone at this particular time, what, if anything, would you put in place? Okay. Would you do a prenup? Would a prenup be vital for you at this particular point in time? Okay. How would you manage this money coming in that would potentially have to, clearly it's going to change your life, and also the people around you. But how would you treat that person that you are vested in?
So in my thought process, for at least 45 days, I'm going to have to disappear.
Okay. Absolutely.
Because getting that amount of overwhelming money, having never had to, in order to ensure that it doesn't just
disappear,
be a windfall,
right?
You have to figure out what it is that you're going to do.
Okay. And
you cannot do that clearly with close influences around you. However, those close influences might not understand that in the manner that they should.
Okay.
So it's a double-edged sword. And one aspect, it's going to be very beneficial to figure it out and then reemerge.
Okay.
And another aspect, it's also going to be beneficial in the sense you get to actually see who's actually rocking with you and who's not. But then, on the flip side, you do unintentionally alienate people when you do that and disappearing for 45 or whatever. So some people will know and get it. Other people, like if I won that much money,
would you disclose that to your significant other?
But that's the thing. If I had the significant other, they probably would be more aware.
They would be aware that you just gonna kind of go ghost. You're not in a relationship, man. Well, let's just say you're not in a relationship, but you are serious about somebody, right? And you know that you want to take this to the next level with that person.
See, and they would have more of a chance to last because they were there before.
Right.
Like right now, I was gonna post that the other day, but I decided not to. I'm like, all right. So, although I know I'm not ugly, I am not in my personal best shape or feel at my personal best physically. Mentally, great. I'm in a very happy space,
Amen.
Right? Physically, I'm like, I want to get closer back to how I was when I was always doing athletic things, playing basketball, all that good stuff. Right. Healthier.
Okay.
All that stuff. But at the same time, there are women, I'm handsome, I'm desirable. They like me.
Right.
As I am now. So there's a thing where I was going to post basically, if you like me now, wait till the end of the year.
Right. Right. But that's my whole thing is that just in general, let's touch bases about this process because you're a very handsome man. You have a lot going for you, and you are a catch. So let's start the fuck here, okay? So anybody, and let me look at the camera, that has had an opportunity to have my fam over here, okay, and you have not jumped on the opportunity, I would like to talk to you to figure out what's your thought process here, okay? Because that man over there is a good catch, okay? So I don't know where you getting it twisted at, and doubling around and thinking that you're gonna keep getting free meals, because I'm gonna stop the shit. Okay, you ain't gonna get shit no more. All right. So don't think that you're gonna keep going on goddamn dates and you ain't stepping up to the plate. All right. Well, period. All right.
I gotta be ready too as well. So it's not just
whatever.
That. But
I don't care.
I
like I said, I still need to have a conversation with your ass because I'm confused. I'm confused. Okay. So it don't have anything to do, because as grown people we do know that our looks are going to fade at some point in time. You're not going to always be the good looking or this person or whatever. Body stuff have changed. Like I had somebody I saw or whatever. I guess the person was just stuck on the days of fucking Bless and Mojave and stuff, and was like, "Ooh, you still look good, but you got a little thick." And I was like, here we go with this bullshit. So I was like, and you're still the same person. I ain't gonna say what I said, but I did check the person in a manner that they understood. Please don't come at me. Please don't come for me or at me or anything like that. I know goddamn well I am way bigger than what I used to be. However, bitch, okay, I can lose the weight, okay, and I'm still going to be the same good-hearted, beautiful person internally and externally. You can't change your ugliness, okay? All right? Damn. And I mean, damn, you can't, all right, even if you tried. Well, so whatever you thought that you was, giving me a blatant compliment and a diss at the same damn time, sir, I'm unbothered, okay? Want to know how unbothered I am? You do not pay none of my bills, nor are you helping me with anything. So I'm like, I'm confused as to why do we care? Why did you care so much? Okay, so yeah, that part. Get back to the billions. Okay, how you going to handle this stuff? You will let your person know.
You gotta figure it out. And you know, prenups are not bad things, but when are they actually necessary?
They are necessary to me. Like, honestly, I mean, I have, like, you don't want somebody to inquire your debt. Like, for me, with my kids, with still stuff stemming from my ex-husband or whatever, I have certain things, especially with school. It's more so school. And then, like, acquired debt that had happened between him that is still, like, kind of lingering in the air some way, shape, or form. And I'm like, damn, when the fuck they pull that shit up at? Like, fucking for forever. Like, okay, so now
you're actually expressing specific things where it would be necessary.
Right. So, but
two people with money have their own already.
Right.
Do they need a prenup?
You need a prenup if you choosing to make sure that whatever you got, whatever you had prior, is still just yours or whatever. That would be my thought process, is that you work for that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck we do afterwards is us, okay? And that's where it stands at. And then for me also, my mom and my father and different people are still living. I don't know what they may bless me with, okay? Because that's not a conversation that typically black folks have, because they don't want you to fucking kill them, okay? So it's like, let's be real about it. So I would need to have that in place, because whatever those blessings may come, I don't know. You just have certain things in place to make sure you safeguard whatever has come prior. And I don't think that would be, I would not be offended if somebody said, I want to have a prenup or whatever. I wouldn't be offended. Want to know why? Your shit is your shit. But I know for a fact that given whatever we share together collectively, regardless of the fact, you still going to eat off of that shit. So It's like, it's just something that is legally binding, that's keeping and making sure that your shit is safe, and that you can set up your estate for whomever you want to set it up for. That's my thought process.
I think all that comes into place because of culture.
I agree.
So wealthy people that get engaged or get married, normally that comes into play based on the situation that most of the time when two people that have some wealth and they're deciding to get married, it's as much a business decision as it is an actual love thing, right? So the other day, I was looking up richest families in the world. Ironically, I didn't see the Rothschilds anywhere on those actual articles with lists. So then I looked up the Rothschilds, and yeah, they're actually worth hundreds of more millions more than these other families that were on these lists. But then I started thinking, I'm like, well, who's the youngest person? Maybe the reason they weren't listed is because they don't have, that money is slowly fading.
Right.
And the youngest person is actually married to a Hilton. Then I started looking up some other different families, and there's all these very wealthy families or people of some long, generational wealth. And when I look at who they're married to other people of that stuff. With the exception of Harry.
Right. That's deep.
Now, she had the fame, she just didn't have the generational.
So, but that's the thing. So it's like if you were to win that $1 billion, okay, 2 billion, whatever billion it is, billions of dollars. Clearly, we know taxes gonna bump it back on down.
You really gotta think and figure it out.
You do.
Because unless you really just are gonna blow it and don't care.
But if you investing, if you doing stuff right, and you setting up your family for generational wealth and doing things that make sense, or dollars later on, like that's definitely something that you would think about. I know for
what would
a
you
fact,
do?
I would definitely get a prenup. Like I would have a prenup in place. I would have things set up accordingly to make sure that clearly my family is taken care of and everything like that. But knowing that the person who ends up with me, we're still building. We're still going to eat. We're still going to vibe together. So regardless of whatever I got in place, that's to say, okay, say if we don't work out. Ultimately, that's what people have more of an issue of. So you don't really trust the process that we're going to be together forever. You trust the process. You thinking that we're going to break up. No. Hindsight is 22. I'm making sure that regardless, everything is in place, and the things that have come before us collectively become a union on paper.
It's
that things is in place.
Like even that, right? So our culture and environment of these times makes that even more necessary.
Absolutely.
So that reaction that person may have about it, you think we're not going to last. Okay. So let's look around at our peers.
Exactly.
How many people did you know that got married and that are still married?
Right.
All right, let's extend beyond our peers. Let's just look at our country. What is our divorce rate?
Right. Extremely high. Yeah.
And when you look at when people are getting divorced, what are they getting divorced for? Unreconcilable differences.
That's factual.
That don't mean nothing other than people deciding, I don't want to do this
I don't want to do this anymore. Right. And it's like you're truly, again, vested in who this person is now. Like some people evolve, some people don't. Like both of us are divorced and decided in that moment, I cannot and will not be subjected to this bullshit no more. I'm over it. Well,
there was other circumstances.
Yeah, definitely.
Some that
unfortunately
weren't healthy.
Yeah, right. Toxicity. So. It goes on and on and on, but that's ultimately it. That was just like my whole thing. It's like we got $1 billion in stuff at stake right now.
You know what's funny?
What would you do with your person?
And that's not even the biggest news.
No, it's not.
That's not the trending news. I literally came across it because somebody else posted about it, and it was like, how do I play lotto? Or how do I play this? Where can I play this? And I'm like, what are you talking? And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, it's 1 billion something.
Yep. That's a whole fact.
But you know what was the subject in the headlines?
Don't even.
Yeah, we're not going to go there.
No, we're not. Because I don't even. I that's why I'm happy that we didn't even touch on that topic. Cause I was
and
like,
you know what else is interesting? It's also election time, too.
Yes, it is. And that will be key why all that is happening. So, as I said, we're We stay out of it on Dear Love and Lust. We ain't getting involved in it.
Yeah, we only deal with
He's
sex,
not.
love, lust, and relationships.
Those things. And we thank y'all so much for always tuning in and being vibing with us and stuff like that. We are getting back into the fold, and we are looking forward to the greatness that is going to be happening because we are manifesting it. Absolutely. So,
do remember November 25th, Black Friday.
come on.
We
let's
have
go.
the annual Black Friday party at Albany Stadium Restaurant and Bar,
Food is
51
good.
South Pearl, downtown Albany.
Food is good there.
Tickets, yeah, it actually is. Tickets are available on maineventlive.com. Does Her Temple got anything else coming up?
Her Temple, after So You Think You Got Talent, we are clearly regrouping and getting ourselves situated for what is next. We are definitely going to be doing and posting more skits and vibing and getting people. I don't know. I'm on the vibration. We have something happening, so we're getting started back up with that. But we behind the scenes, just stay tuned, okay? Because it's a lot of stuff I can't talk about, but it's there that I'm excited about. I'm very, very excited about. I'm also just production stuff. A lot of things. We have the partnership with Zoo Bosses and stuff like that, and so we're working on something behind the scenes with them. But it's good stuff, and I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about this particular podcast for sure. I feel like people gravitate towards what we do. I feel like we can't definitely, and I'm going to be mindful of it, 23, to not take so much time away. But I needed it. I needed it so
No,
bad.
that's fine.
And
I ain't mad.
I work very, very hard
we
Maine
do.
does
Both
too.
of us.
Yes. Okay. So having the time that we needed to get out there, like, being book busy or just choosing to choose yourself and relax, that's needed at times. So Dear Love and Lust, we all about that. The vibe, the whole thingamajig. So I know you got other things happening outside of that.
We got a few things.
Yeah, the
But
end of the year is happening, so that's huge.
Just stay tuned to maineventlive.com. Follow me on my social media at Maine Event Live. Follow Bklyn, Shay, and hers.
Yes, please.
And so forth. And this will conclude the 33rd episode of Dear Love and Lust podcast. Make sure you follow us on maineventlive.com or our Dear Love and Lust Facebook page and soon to be YouTube channel.
We love it.
We also have merch and apparel on the online store on maineventlive.com. We got some hoodies, and you can definitely holler at Bklyn Shay for our, what are these called?
Our little goblets, little glasses.
Yeah,
okay.
see, they got the whole Dear Love and Lust thing on them.
Can you see that? Yeah.
And yeah, we got a lot of things in the pipe work that eventually will come to fruition in the way that it needs to.
Absolutely.
In a successful way.
That part.
So make sure you check us out, follow our movement, and if you have any questions about love, sex, and relationships, please email us at dearloveandlust@gmail.com, and we will respond to them in upcoming episodes.
Hello.
And with that,
we like to say
peace.